with the Niner Sickness podcast show. Coming to you live on a Friday night. What's going on? Hope all of you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are healthy and staying safe with everything that's going on. My prayers for you and your family. Pray that everyone is doing good. So, just want to come on here, talk some football, take our minds a little bit off of the reality of this world, and kind of focus a little bit on the draft and what is the leftover of free agency, who we haven't got. We just lost another linebacker, Elijah Lee. He is heading to the Detroit Lions. But before I go any further, please support this 49er Talk show by clicking on the notification bell to be notified, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the like button so that we can continue to bring content to you regarding our 49ers. I will be flying solo for a little bit. Hopefully some of my crew will join me. If not, it is all good. We will still talk football. We will still talk free agency, and we will still find out what the Niners are doing and what they're going to do, and how, if everything works out and we're able to have a season, where do you feel the Niners will be? Do you think they make the playoffs again? Do you think they'll make the Super Bowl again? Do you think they'll win the NFC West? Do you think not having OTAs may hurt the 49ers, or do you think it'll hurt teams that got free agency, maybe like a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who picked up Tom Brady? He needs to learn the offense. Do you think teams like that will hurt more because of what's going on? Let me know. Let me just invite some people in real quick. Give me 1 second. Charge.
In these times
of Oops, give me a second. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. That's not what I wanted. Hit the wrong button. Here we go. Hit the wrong button. Let me just invite some people in here, and we're ready to rock and roll. Hope everybody's having a good time. Let me just put the link on some of these groups, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, there's one. Give me 1 second. You guys are great. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you guys do, man. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So, as you guys already know, we lost Elijah Lee, and he's heading over to the Detroit Lions. We picked up a linebacker, though, from Arizona Cardinals, Walker, so we should be okay there. I know many of you guys have questions on what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are doing. Supposedly, we're losing quite a few players. We lost Sheldon Day. He was going to the Colts. We lost Anthony Settle. I believe he's going to the Vikings. We lost now Elijah Lee. He's going to Detroit. You know what I mean? But these are all backup players. Players who can easily be replaced. Me personally, the only key players that arguably can be hard to replace is, first and foremost, DeForest Buckner. He is an individual that'll be hard to replace. We'll manage, but I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to replace him. A stature of his caliber is going to be hard to replace. but also Emmanuel Sanders. Now, Emmanuel Sanders, we have Deebo Samuel. Hopefully, we draft somebody in the draft, and we'll be talking about that later. Are we going to be drafting receivers in the first round with the 13 overall pick? Should we trade down, accumulate more picks? Should we draft defensively? Should we draft someone like Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from South Carolina, who was able to come in and pretty much plug and play in the spot that belonged to DeForest Buckner? All those are the questions that are going to be asked, and hopefully the Niners will be able to answer them. As the season comes around. Now, I haven't heard anything regarding the draft. I don't know if they're going to draft on schedule. Are they going to draft on schedule? Are they going to do it just volatilize the drafting? Like, in other words, we all know nobody's going to be in Vegas. That's for sure. We know nobody's going to be in Vegas. So I'm wondering how they're going to do. I wonder if they're going to do this like the old days. A lot of you guys are young, so you guys probably don't remember before social media the way the drafting used to be. I think they're going to go to that type of format, that type of drafting where everything is going to be on the social media and nothing's in person. But I hope that even though the event won't be live, I still hope that they'll draft. You know what I mean? Hopefully they'll still draft, and we'll still be able to watch our 49ers pick up a player that we like. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I really am. I'm looking forward to see if we're going to draft, and who are we taking at 13? Are we taking wide receiver? Could it be CB Lamb? Could it be Jerry Judah from Alabama? Lamb from Oklahoma? Could it be Henry Ruggs from Alabama, the speed guy? Could it be a offensive lineman at 13? Could it be a corner, depending who the corner is? Could it be a defensive tackle? Could it be Derek Brown from Auburn if he falls to 13? Or Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina? Arguably, those are the two top defensive tackles, Brown being number one and Kinlaw being number two. Preferably will be Brown, but either one of those two individuals will be great plug and play, man. I know a lot of you guys are saying, "Well, we have DJ Jones. We can plug him in, but he's been injury prone. He can get hurt." We have Solomon Thomas in rotation. Unfortunately, he has been a bust. He does not give me enough confidence to go with him, even though he's a first rounder. Maybe this is the year, man. This is the year that, I don't know. The Solomon Thomas steps up, man, and shows the 49ers, the organization, and the fan base that he is worthy of that third overall pick from us. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm not confident myself personally on Solomon Thomas or DJ Jones, or we can put in not Ronald Blair. Ronald Blair is more of a pass rusher. What is the other kid? The other kid, number 77, Julius. I can't think of his last name. First name, I believe, is Julius. He's number 77, but he's also prone to getting injured. And those are things we have to be careful that who are we going into camp with, and who are definitely we going into the season with. We're set with D Ford. We're set with Eric Armstead. Definitely set with Nick Bosa with the rotation of a couple of guys behind them. Ronald Blair, the third, being one of them. But that position of DeForest Buckner is going to be interesting, really, in my opinion. Who's going to be able to hold that spot and hold it well? I like what I've seen in DJ Jones. I do. He's a good run stopper. He can get after the quarterback. He demands two linemen at times, but he's no DeForest Buckner. And he is, like I said, he is injury prone. He has gotten hurt quite a bit. So is he one that I'm very confident in? Not necessarily. This is why I would prefer to have someone like Javon Kinlaw or Derek Brown come in and fill in that spot and see what we can do from there. But I know a lot of Niner fans are really looking at getting a receiver. And I understand a receiver is nice, especially of the caliber of a Lamb, a Judah, or a Ruggs. But I think defensively is the best way to go, in my opinion. What's up, Aaron Grando? How you doing, man? Welcome to the Niners Sickness Podcast Show. How you doing? Let me see what your question is. I don't think we go D-line with our first 4 picks. I do think O-line we do. Okay, interesting comment. You're stating that based on, and I'm assuming you're basing this on the last 3 or 4 years we have gone specifically on the D-line picks. But you're stating that we don't pick a defensive player with our first 4 picks. Interesting. So you're thinking we're going to be emphasizing more on that offensive side of the ball, huh? Now, let me ask you, do we trade down from that 13th spot, or do we trade down from the 31st spot? Do we trade down both? Do we do not trade and pick from both spots, or which one would you just think it should be a better trade value for us and us, the fans, and the 49ers? It's my question. Let's see who else is in here. Give me a second. But that's a good question, by the way. They shot it. They gave it to me 3 times. That's weird. Let's see here. Give me a second. Yeah, but that's interesting. Interesting comment there, Aaron. Very good one too. Very good comment. Personally, let's see. Maybe the 31st to sneak in and get a 2nd and 3rd. Okay. So, based on what you made, based on your comment earlier, you said that we go. Most likely, we do not pick a defensive player. Now, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. You say we don't. I don't think we go D-line with the first pick. So basically, you're not saying defense. I want to make sure I bring clarity. You're saying we're not going to pick nobody in the front 4. In other words, we're not going to get a pass rusher or a defensive tackle, but we could get a corner or safety in the top 4 picks, correct? I just want to make sure that I'm not misquoting your comment, Aaron. So you're not saying we're not going to get a defensive player with the first 4 picks. You're just stating that we're not going to get a defensive line. How? Okay. Just want to make sure I was clear on that. O-line, because we need more depth at that position and not player just D-line. We definitely need another guard and eventually a tackle too. It'll be nice if we draft a tackle at 31 and move him to guard while Joe Staley is still active with us. And then eventually, once Joe Staley retires, we can definitely move that guard back to tackle and go from there. Would be interesting to see. But it's gonna, this offseason is interesting because we signed Eric Armstead to a 5-year deal. We traded DeForest Buckner. We got the 13th overall. We're within our cap space. We did not resign Emmanuel Sanders, but we did resign Ronald Blair and a few other players we were able to take care of. I want you, the viewers, to comment below. What's your thought process? Based on the personnel that we lost and based on the personnel that we kept or who we added, like the linebacker from Arizona, Walker. I can't name of all the people we added. Do you think we're going to be able to continue our path to another Super Bowl? At the least, minimal win our division. Let's see. Let's talk about the West for a minute. You got the Arizona Cardinals that have stepped up with their quarterback. They added a receiver, which again, Houston, I don't know what they're doing. O'Brien, I don't know why he hates the 49ers as much as why he hates us, but giving Clowney to the Seahawks last year and then giving DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals this year, it just boggles me. But the Arizona Cardinals have added DeAndre Hopkins with Larry Fitzgerald still there. They have that running kid they picked up last year in the middle of the season, which is running great for them. Their defense is still suspect. Their O-line is suspect. But they're definitely going to be a better team in 2020. We know that the Rams are falling apart. The Rams and their sorry logo are falling apart, as everybody suspected, other than the Rams fans themselves. Mortgaging their future like they did a few years ago is paying dividends now. They mortgaged their future. They went after high-priced individuals. They opened up the window for the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl, but their window closed like this. Just like that, it closed. Why? Because of all the high contracts they brought in. Now, a lot of you don't like the idea that we traded DeForest Buckner. Why? If he's a top 3, top 5, at the very least, at his position, why would you trade someone and entering into his prime? Because we don't want to fall in a situation like the Rams. We want to be able to keep our window extended for a few years. And if you want to be within that Super Bowl window, ladies and gentlemen, you need to realize there are sacrifices that are going to have to be made that are not going to be pleasing to the fan base, but they're necessary for the team. They're necessary. A trade like the DeForest Buckner is not an always easy thing to swallow, but the idea that they were able to get a 13 overall first round pick and in the return, with my thought process that even if we would have kept him this year and then fresh tag him next year, trying to sign him and trying to sign someone like George Kittle will be very hard to do. And we all know that the San Francisco 49ers are trying to secure George Kittle. Now, unless you're not aware, and I mean this respectfully, I'm gonna let you know that what the Niners are gonna do is they're gonna pay George Kittle. They're gonna make him the highest paid tight end in the NFL. So they're going to set a standard, okay? They're going to set a standard with George Kittle. They're going to pay him a lot of money. Is he worth it? Yes. He's a game changer. But they're going to pay him. They might even overpay him because whenever there's no meter, you know what I mean? It's always nice when another team sets a standard, kind of, because you kind of know where you're at. But also, you know, with George Kittle, being that he's the best tight end in my opinion, even better than Kelsey, he's going to get paid like one. The other kid that went from Atlanta to the Browns, I believe they gave him around $10 million per season, and the kid is nowhere near the caliber of a George Kittle. So I'm thinking George Kittle is gonna be anywhere in the 15 million per year, around the 13 to 15 million per year for a tight end. Yeah, and he's going to demand that because he's the best. So therefore, the front office has to be careful that they didn't get caught up with DeForest Buckner next year and then George Kittle. They knew that they could not afford both of them. So they figured, okay, if we keep him one more year and then we franchise tag him and then we can't keep him, we got to trade him, or if they lost him, they would get nothing in return. At least they were able to get a 13th overall in return for DeForest Buckner. That's a very good move from the front office. And they're focusing on getting the George Kittle situation taken care of. And you got to remember, if Nick Bosa continues to play the way he played in year one, and he continues to get better than what he did in 2019, when his contract is up, I don't even think they're going to wait for his contract to be up. They're going to try to sign him as well. All those factors take into place, and you got to realize, okay, who do we want to keep? Who can we not afford to keep, even though we want them? So I say all that to say this. A lot of times we get attached to certain players. And we get upset when they're no longer on the team. But we have to look at the whole picture. Okay, I got to remove my emotions from the equation. Okay, I love DeForest Buckner. I got to remove my emotions. All right, I understand why they got rid of him. Don't like it. Wish he would have still been here. But I like the idea. I understand the idea process behind trading him to the Colts. And you're able to move on as a fan. But if you keep that emotional part of you, you're never going to understand why we traded someone like DeForest Buckner, because we're not going to logically see what is right. We're going to want to see what we want to see, and we're not going to comprehend or understand or accept that John Lynch did the right thing by trading Buckner. That's just the bottom line. What's up, Richard? Brian, how you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you, brother. Aaron, this says here, give me 1 second. You're right. By keeping 20 of the 22 starters is amazing work by the front office. I agree. Yes, sir. You're not always going to be able to keep everybody. It's just impossible in the real world. In the time that we're playing in with the salary cap, it's just impossible to keep everybody. But to keep 20 out of the 22, meaning we just lost 2 players, not bad. First time John Lynch. First time head coach Shanahan. Pretty good work, if I don't say so myself. Richard Bryan says, Kittle is the Niner for life, I hope. They definitely are going to try to do that, Richard. They're definitely going to try to sign him to a massive contract that's going to be paying him anywhere around between 13 to 15 million a year, and make him the highest paid tight end in the NFL, which he is worth every penny that he's going to get from our San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion. Aaron says, with the new CBA, it will be okay, and you can still get another player or keep your team together, plus adding the extra tag. But that's not going to take effect until 2021. Okay, all that's going to take effect into 2021. The 17 seasons, the 3 preseasons, extra 2 teams in the playoffs, all that's in the 2021 season. None of that takes effect in the 2020. Unless I stand corrected. But I believe that's the way it is. Side note, when are you going to start selling some of those Niners Sickness jerseys? Right now, because of the coronavirus, as you guys know, a lot of my jerseys, majority of my jerseys come from overseas. And I just want to just give a disclaimer, okay? All jerseys, even the ones you buy from the NFL.com, come from overseas. None of them are made in the U.S. Just want to give that disclaimer out. But because of that, people have been a little bit kind of like, I don't know, should I order? So it's kind of been a little bit slow. So I haven't been pushing the envelope, but it's starting to get better. China's getting back to their normal life. Everything's starting to look good over on that side. So I'm going to definitely be opening up shop again, and I'm going to be selling jerseys again, Aaron. So I don't know if you're part of my page on Facebook on the quality jerseys. If you are, great. Watch out for new information. If not, let me know, and I will add you to that page so that you can keep up with any type of changes or any information that I may have that is according to the jerseys. Let's see here. Oh, good. I know. I thought it started this year. No. It starts in 2021. What's up, Ismael Ortiz? How you doing, brother? Who won the free jersey? Well, I wanted 30 people to become members here on YouTube, and I've only gotten 6. So out of 30, only 6 people started following the channel, and I'm not going to do a jersey giveaway until we hit 30. Those 6 that are already in will stay written down. Once I hit 30, then is when I do the free jersey giveaway. If that's the one you're referring to, Ismail, I'm not sure. But yeah, once I hit 30, and I'm going to keep it honest. I'm not the type of guy that, we're going to hit 31, 32 new subscribers, and I'm still saying that we're not there yet. Once we hit 30, I will be giving away a free jersey. I just want to make sure I say that so people can kind of be a little bit more relaxed. Hey, once we hit 30, when we hit 30, I don't know. I hope sooner. If you guys share this video, if you guys share us and YouTube to your timeline, and people come and subscribe, the sooner we hit 30, the sooner we do a jersey. Then we can do another 30. We can start doing some free giveaways. But we got to at least get 30. We're what, 24 away from achieving that goal. Let's see here. Richard Bryan says, is that why you haven't gave away recently? Yes, because I haven't given anything away because I haven't met the quota of 30 here for YouTube, but also because of the shipment delays. due to the virus has slowed things down, but they're starting to pick back up again, and we're going to get a little bit back to normalcy as the best as possible. So hopefully that happens soon. I put the word out. I appreciate that, Richard. I really do. I'm doing the live here. I know I get more activity if I do it on Facebook, but I'm doing it here because I'm trying to develop this channel. Even if I get 2 or 3 people like yourselves on here, great. But I'm trying to develop the channel. I'm trying to get this channel on YouTube so that people can see it. But remember, the more people that hit the like button, the thumb, the more likes of a video, the more YouTube shows it to other people. That's why it's important for you guys to share, have people like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. So every time we go on, myself, my crew, or all of us, you guys will be notified that we have gone live, and you can join us in our show. Okay, give me a second. You know what I mean? So I'll try it. Join just finished. Sorry, guys. My guys are just hitting me up. They're going to be coming in soon. So that's Florida Mike and the Boston Hater. So yeah. So that's where we're at. So we're trying to get the channel going, and I need you guys to help us out. I need you guys to show this video on your Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is, to get it out there so people can see it, start liking it. And I love doing giveaways, man. I have so much stuff to give away. I have autographed jerseys. I have regular jerseys. I have shades, 49er shades. I have so many things that I love to give away as promotional to promote our Niner Sickness podcast. But I need people to participate and help us out. Samuel Ortiz says, pin your YouTube when you go live on Facebook. I do pin it. It's pinned on there. Let's see. Make sure it's still. Let me see. Let me double check it real quick. Give me a second, gentlemen. You guys are awesome, by the way. Awesome. Let's see here. Give me a second. There we go. Pin it. Yep. It's pinned. But yeah, man. So that's where we're at. And so back to the conversation of the 49ers. We bring in back 20 out of the 22 players. Not bad. We lost, obviously, DeForest Buckner, and we lost Emmanuel Sanders. Now, I like the idea that Deebo Samuel has definitely become better, has learned a lot from Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to be a great receiver for us in 2020 going forward. I want to see what we have in Jalen Hurd. Hopefully he's healthy. I would love to see what we have in him in 2020. I would love to see Trent Taylor stay healthy for a whole year and see what he can do for us. I love Kendrick Bourne. I know a lot of you guys are not big fans of Kendrick Bourne. I am. I really am. I have seen his progression every year. Yes, he has dropped some balls. It just makes you go like, what the heck are you thinking, Kendrick? But Kendrick Bourne has also caught some balls, beautiful balls, to extend first downs. He's caught up quite a few touchdowns for us in 2019. I love Bourne. And I believe Kendrick Bourne is going to continue to develop into a better receiver. Now, Kendrick Bourne is not a true number 1 or even 2. Kendrick Bourne is more of a complementary receiver to a 1 and a 2, in my opinion. I know we have our 1. If not 1, we have our 2. in Deebo Samuel. Do we draft a CeeDee Lamb? Do we draft a Jerry Jeudy from Alabama? A CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma? A Henry Ruggs from Alabama? And make them our number one so that we can you imagine having CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Hurd, Trent Taylor, and hopefully Dante Pettis, man. I don't know what happened to Dante Pettis. I really don't understand why he took a step backwards. But I'm not gonna put Devontae Pettis in the same category as Solomon Thomas. I'm not gonna put him in the same category as Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas hasn't really done much. Give me 1 second, guys. Hasn't done much, and he's been Solomon Thomas has been disappointing, to say the very least. Okay, he has been very disappointing, to say the very least. I just don't see that happening right now with Dante Pettis. I don't know what happened to Dante Pettis. I don't know why or how he got into the doghouse of Kyle Shanahan. But I'm going to choose to believe very strongly that Dante Pettis will come and redeem himself in 2020. I really believe that. Now, I can look stupid and totally be wrong, and I'm okay with that. But I think Dante Pettis will redeem himself in the 2020 with us. I just don't know what happened with him in the 2019 season. He started strong. He played good for us, and then he kind of just disappeared. I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it could happen in his personal life. I don't know what it is, but he definitely digressed towards the end. I don't know if just Deebo Samuel just progressed so well that automatically took away time from Dante Pettis, or what. But I think Dante Pettis still can possibly be a good receiver, in my opinion. Boston Hater, Florida Mike, Chemo may disagree or agree. It's okay. But in my opinion, I think Pettis is still a searchable type of receiver. And I hope he does redeem himself in 2020. What's up, Christian Carver? How you doing? Welcome to the Niner Sickness Podcast on YouTube. How you doing, brother? Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time we go live here on YouTube. Your question, let's see here. Is it a question or a statement? Do you draft? Okay, it is a question. Do you draft another speedster to complement Deebo Samuel and replace that speed from Emmanuel? Well, Emmanuel didn't really have speed, in my opinion. If we go with someone like if we draft someone like Henry Ruggs out of Alabama, he is more of the speed guy. He's the more that's gonna blow the top off a defense. He's the type of receiver that will replace a Marquise Goodwin. Okay, Henry Ruggs, in my opinion, is the type of receiver that will replace Marquise Goodwin from our roster. Now, if you want a good route runner, not a deep threat so much, but a good route runner, a great yards after the catch type of receiver, in my opinion, that will be Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama. In my opinion, he is one of the best route runners that I've seen coming out of college in a while. I like the way he diverses corners. I mean, the way He looks at the defense. The corner's watching his eyes. He's looking to the right, like he's going to cut to the right. He gives no indication that he's going to do anything different. He's going to cut to the right, and at the last second, he cuts to the left. And all you got to do is throw off that corner off his feet for a second, and you just became available to catch the ball. And this is what Jerry Jeudy offers a team that drafts him. So I think Jerry Jeudy would be the best route runner that is coming out. But if you ask me who the better receiver overall, in my opinion, more polished, to me that is CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. That kid is special. But I'm okay, to be honest with you. If we decide to draft, if the Niners decide to draft a receiver with the 13 overall, whether it's Jerry Jeudy or Lamb, I'm okay with that. I think both of those kids are going to be special. I think both of those kids are going to have a great career in the NFL. I think Henry Ruggs will have a good career as well. But out of those three, I'd rather draft either Jeudy or Lamb, in my opinion. I don't know about what your guys' thought process on that. But I prefer them to over Ruggs myself. Let me read some of the questions. Brian says, I'm looking forward to see Hurts' potential. I want to see, I liked him in college. I love the transition from running back to receiver. I like what I've seen in Jalen Hurts, but he didn't play all 2019, man, so that was disappointing. You know what I mean? Very disappointing. Hopefully the whole situation with his back is taken care of. He's healthy, and he can have a great 2020. And I agree with you, Richard. I would love to see what he can offer us on the field. Ismael Ortiz. Beto, Debo isn't afraid to get smacked. No, he isn't. But we want to make sure we keep him healthy. We don't want no concussions. We don't want no injuries. And we want to protect him the best we can. And if we do not have a receiver that can open up the field, we don't want double teams on Debo. You know what I mean? But you're right. He's not afraid to go down the middle. He's not afraid to get hit. With that said, though, I definitely want to make sure that we keep him upright, keep him healthy. You know what I mean? I definitely want to keep him healthy and not put him in a position where he will get hurt. Keep the questions coming, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining me here on the Niner Sickness podcast on YouTube. Next question is, I seen where we might trade Pettis to the Eagles. Have you seen anything like that, Beto? Surrounding Pettis, I haven't. I'm not saying that is not taking place. I'm not saying that there's no talks of a trade. I just haven't really I haven't seen it. Maybe not because it's not there. I just haven't really looked for it. If it is there, but I hope not. Unless we get a good pick for him. But I still think Dante Pettis is more of a reward than a risk in 2020, in my opinion. But it wouldn't be my first time that I'm wrong. But I really believe in Dante Pettis, man. I really think he's gonna be the Jimmy Ward. Remember Jimmy Ward? Injury prone, couldn't stay healthy. Everybody's like, my God, he was the worst pick. I can't believe we picked him with we used a number one pick for him, blah, blah, blah. We should cut him. We should trade him. We should do all these things to Jimmy Ward. And what did Jimmy Ward do in 2019? He played great. He changed a lot of people's minds about his play. He stayed healthy. Can we see that in Dante Pettis? Can he turn it around in 2020 and give us a glimpse of hope that we have a good receiver already on our roster? It'll be nice to see. We'll see. Jeudy will be the pick. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I'm adding my own words. Jeudy will be the best pick on the other side of Deebo. Well, I would. The combination of Jerry Jeudy, and Deebo Samuel, or CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel just sounds nice, right? San Francisco 49ers receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel. Or San Francisco 49ers starting receivers, Jerry Jeudy and Deebo Samuel. I like the way that sounds, doesn't it? Kind of sounds nice. The Ruggs, Niners starting receivers, Henry Ruggs and Deebo Samuel. That one sounds okay too, but I like the first two myself. Richard Bryan says, any of the three lambs, Jeudy or Riggs the third. Oh, okay. I read it because you put the comma after the lamb instead of after the three, so I did not pause. But any of the three, Lamb, Jeudy, or Ruggs, got you, would be nice. Matter of fact, that's the order that I would like it. I would like it for it to be Lamb first, Jeudy second, or Ruggs third. But I'll be honest. I will be honest. This is just me. If Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb, it's already gone off the board, and even though Henry Ruggs is still there, I would prefer to go with defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. I'd rather go with him. It's okay, Richard. No worries, bro. No worries. I just said I read it. You know what I mean? But no worries, brother. No worries. Yeah, so I'm waiting for my guys to see if they're going to come in. It looks like they're going to come in. Hopefully they'll join me, and we'll continue to kick this into a higher gear. But definitely, I would love them to go and proceed to go after a. Listen, for me personally, a happy draft with the 13 overall and the 31st only, because I don't know what we're going to do with the 25th and the 26th and the 7th. If we don't trade, okay, this is my 2 picks in the first round. If we don't trade, that would make me, Niner Sickness, very happy. You may agree, you may disagree. That's fine, respectfully. With the 13th overall pick, I'm going to name 3 players. It doesn't have to be, 4 players. It doesn't have to be in any order, okay? I'm going to name 4 players at the 13th spot. Any of those 4 players I will be content with. Very content. And I'm not going to say this in order, because I'm not saying first to fourth. I'm just saying 4 in general. Jerry Jeudy, out of Alabama. CeeDee Lamb, out of Oklahoma, for offense. If those are not available, then I would love to see Derek Brown out of Auburn, defensive tackle, or Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Those 4 players, any of those 4 players at 13 will be a great addition to the 49ers, in my opinion. Moving to the 31st spot. there's two corners that I like, and I dropped my phone. So I'm going to pick it up right now so I can give you the name of the second corner. One of them I know by heart. The other one I can't remember. And I should know better because he plays for my college team. And I just can't think of his name. But at 31, I would love if we picked up Trevon Diggs, cornerback from Alabama. Or if we picked up the kid, the corner, and I can't remember his name, and he plays for my college for Clemson Tigers. He is number 8 from the Clemson Tigers. The Clemson Tigers, and I can't think of his name. I got to pick up my phone so I can read his name, but I'll get it in a minute. But those would be my picks for 13 and 31. Two offensive players, two defensive players. Now that I said all that, if I had to pick two players, in my book would be Derek Brown out of Auburn, defensive tackle, to plug and play and put him in the spot where DeForest Buckner was, not miss a beat, in my opinion, and then go with Trevon Diggs at corner. And I will be a complete 100% happy camper, and we will not miss a beat. Okay? Now, there's a player out there that I just don't think he'll be there at 13. Now, there's a possibility that he can fall at 13, not because the player himself is not good. Okay? This player is a great player, and I think he's going to be a great Terrell. Yes. Thank you, Richard. Terrell. AJ Terrell from Clemson. I'm a big Clemson Tiger fan. I just couldn't think of his name. AJ Terrell. Thank you, sir. I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So there's a player that I like, that I would love to go. He's not a player of need, but I would love his services as a 49er fan. I just don't think he will falter 13. Now, there may be a possibility if he does, only because the teams that are drafting before us, they have needs like quarterback. It's going to be like 3 or 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10. A lot of offensive tackles are going to be taken in the top 10. You got that kid, that corner from Ohio State, Jeff Okudah. He's going to be going in the top 5. If this kid, and I think Christian Carver mentioned him, Isaiah Thompson. Oh my goodness, I'm missing up here. Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. This linebacker, being that I'm a Tiger, kid is special. Now you may say, wait a minute, line of sickness, but we don't need a linebacker. We're good with Alexander, Warner, and Greenlaw. True, we don't need a linebacker, but Isaiah Simmons is so diverse, such a good player. We can move him to safety, and he'll be one hell of a safety for us. Much better than Jimmy Ward. Definitely better than Tart, in my opinion. And on a 53-man roster, God forbid if one of our linebackers go down, we can easily slide Isaiah Simmons to that position while our linebacker is down, and we can continue to move forward and not miss a beat. He's a diverse special player. So Isaiah Simmons, in my opinion, is a great player. If he was available at 13, I just don't see him being there. I don't see him getting past the Jaguars I just don't see him getting past the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars will step in and take him, in my opinion. But yes, that'll be a great pickup. Ismael Ortiz says, "What is the name he likes? He is like 6'3", 200 pounds. He resembles Buckner. I forgot his name. Um, if you're referring to the kid out of Derek Brown out of Auburn, he's 6'3", and he is arguably the best defensive tackle coming out of college in the NFL. I mean, in this year's draft. Right behind him will be Javon Kinlaw, but I'm assuming you're thinking about Derek Brown out of Auburn. There, Ismail. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. That's who you're referring to. Give me a second. Who should bring in like another Buckner? I don't know what that first word. I don't know what that first word is, so I'm not even going to attempt to read it. Richard says, "What do you honestly think of Noah, the defensive back, at number 31? I see him, and I don't think he's all that great. He's good. Let's cut up a little bit. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Your thoughts, Beto?" Noah. Give me what's his last name? What's his last name? You know what? Let me pick up my phone. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Sorry about that, because I dropped this guy. All right. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Noah. Give me the last name, Richard. Let's see. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. Let's see here. The thing is, remember, is K1 eventually will be replaced. K1, it's an interesting question there, Richard, because K1, with that contract, even though he restructured it for us, I don't see him staying with us for another, depending on what he does in 2020, but he can definitely be replaced with a younger player for money wise. So I do agree with you there. Let's see here. Alrighty there. What's up, Boston Hater? I don't know what you mean there, buddy. But let's see here. I love listening to your show, and no offense, but it's not the same without your boys on here. I agree. I'm. It's Batman without Robin. Wonder Woman without the invisible jet. The Hulk without Green. Okay, you know where I'm going. But hopefully, my boy Nate, the Boston Hater, comes on shortly, and Florida Mike come on. Sometimes we're able to come on all together and come on here and do a show for you guys. Sometimes we have to come on here individually, but the show must go on, man. One of us or all of us. But I apologize that you have to look at my ugly mug for the time being. But give me a second. Yeah. Let's see if I can bring one of my boys in so that I won't be flying solo.
What's up, Dado?
What's up, Boston Head? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Yeah, that crazy last name that I sent you that I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah.
That's the guy that he's talking about. That's the corner. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
like
I might have even spelled it wrong, but yeah, because I wasn't looking at it when I wrote it out. I just
first name is Noah.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Got it. Let's see. Richard says Boston Hater. He's referring to Noah last name. Got you. Got you, Richard. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's a cornerback from Auburn.
Oh, Auburn. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No.
No, I haven't really followed him closely, so I don't have I don't know. Do you have any thought? I know he asked me. He asked me the question, but I haven't really been following him closely. So, do you have? Can you answer that for him? Based that I really haven't
As a
followed my
matter
list.
of fact, I can. I think there's only 3 cornerbacks worth a first round draft pick,
Okay.
and they're going to get drafted probably in the top 15. He's not one of them. If I was guessing on this guy, I would probably say that he was late second round, early third round. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about him at 31. Yeah. Um, he's an athlete though.
Did-
Yeah, but it's kind of new. He's green. I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of football experience, so he might be one of those that grows. Yeah, and I know he was a pretty good kick returner as well, so he would be good for you know for special teams as well.
Okay.
But no, as far as first round, no, not even thinking about him.
Okay, and so again, if you can just refresh on only because I was typing, and so I didn't really hear clearly. But so you said there's only two corners that is worthy of the first in your thoughts, or three?
I think 3.
And what? Give me the names again. I'm sorry.
Um, of course, the
Jeff Okuda from
Akuda,
Ohio.
yes. The LSU guy that got in trouble. He's probably, in my assessment, I think he's the best D back of them all.
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
he's got the off the field concerns, which are going to make him drop. And I'm trying to think of who the third was. I'm forgetting now, but there's 3. I know there's a third. The guy from Florida. Um,
Oh
yeah.
I can't think of. I know who you're talking about. I can't
You
think of
know
his
what?
name.
It's really hard with these college players because there's so many of them, and their names just slip my mind. But I know exactly who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
No, I know who you're thinking of too from Florida State. Yeah, I just can't
No,
think of
no,
his
no,
name.
not Florida State. Not Florida State. From Florida. Yeah. This guy's from Florida.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Then I don't know who you're talking about then.
Yeah. Florida State's D back does not rank that high.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's your opinion, but
Yeah.
okay. And then real quick, Richard Bryan just wants to say, I don't know if you can read it yourself, but he says, "What's up, Boston Hater? Glad you're back. Hope all is well, bro. Been praying for you."
Oh,
Eh,
okay.
eh,
Well, I appreciate it.
yeah, and just in case you're not, just to fill you in, when you left the other night and you shared the information with me, I told them that you needed for people to pray for a situation in your side. They didn't give the specifics of what it
Oh,
was,
well,
but I just shared that you needed prayer. So that's what he's referring
okay.
to.
Okay. Well, I don't mind. I will give the specifics. I have a friend that I've known for about 25 years that um, contacted the coronavirus. Uh, he is he also has pneumonia, and he is in the hospital. He was on he was on he's on a respirator, but he was also they had put him on. in a semi coma because he was having difficulty breathing. Um, he is no longer in the semi coma, so he's stable and he's still on the respirator, but he's stable. So that's good news. So thank you for your prayers. Um, he's doing better, but he's still got a long way to go. And it's not like he's a this guy's in his mid 40s. He's like 45, and I'm just you know I'm really concerned for him, and all your prayers appreciated.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I didn't like I said. I'm glad that you were able to share with him. Out of respect for you and not my place, I did not give the specifics. I just
Yeah,
wanted to lift you up in prayer, but
yeah,
so I left that to you, and you did that, and I appreciate it. And we'll continue to keep him in our prayers. The guy you were referring to, and thank you, Christian Calabro, is C.J. Henderson,
yes, it is. That's exactly who I was referring to.
the guy that hasn't caught one interception all season.
Yeah. So
Just missing.
yeah, I mean, interceptions are subjective. I'm not gonna just like I'm not gonna sit up and talk about sacks when it comes to a edge player or any defensive lineman. I'm not going to sit up and dwell on interceptions either. Interceptions kind of go up and down. You can have a year with none or one. You can have a year with 8, 9, 10. It goes back and forth. So
Yeah.
it's not like you have a corner like Richard Sherman over his career since he started. No one has more interceptions during his career than him. But when you look here as of late, he's not exactly putting up big interception numbers. Last year he only had one. Year before last he had one. This year I think he only had three. It wasn't a bunch. So, the thing is, what does he do? He's the least targeted corner in the NFL because people are worried about it. You don't get many opportunities when you do that. So I don't I didn't really look deep into it, but this guy was solid, and you know, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities for interceptions if you're not targeted much. And he might have been that guy that wasn't. I'm not sure, but just what I've seen of him, and I saw probably about 4 of his games.
Uh huh.
Yeah, this isn't a guy they really mess with. And when they do, it's like they never had a chance. Maybe he doesn't intercept the ball, but they never had a chance to really complete that ball on him a lot of times. So,
Interesting.
mhm.
Hey, real quick, I want to get your thoughts on. I don't know. I haven't really followed him too much. Maybe you have. Maybe you might get some insight onto Ismael Ortiz's question. His question is asking about Benjamin, the kid that we picked up from the Chargers, the receiver. He's asking if he's any good. Can you
at
give some enlightenment on that?
at a point in time, he was. Lately, he hasn't played very well in the last year or two. Um, I think it has more to do with him being injured than anything else. But I don't really know what he is now. But for what we're paying him, it's a low risk, high reward potential. It's not a bad move. Um, we can just hope that he will return to some semblance of what he showed in his earlier years.
Is he a big frame guy or a small guy?
No, he's a smaller guy,
Okay.
fast.
Oh, is he fat? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm not familiar with him whatsoever. Not even watching him play with the Chargers, to be honest with you. So I want to make sure I ask someone
yeah,
that can give a
yeah.
better answer.
He's very What should I say if I was thinking of a comparison of something on our team? He's very Richie James esque. As far as what he does. Now, mind you, he has shown more in his NFL career than Richie James has had the opportunity to show. I don't know that Richie James could be on his level at his best because we don't really know what Richie James is. We know what we see, and the little bit we see in the little spots, we like it, but who knows?
I'm thinking Benjamin. I'm trying. What's his first name, or is that his first name?
That's his last name.
So I'm trying to think of, was he like 13? No, he's not 13. That's the other kid. That's a good receiver they have over there. 13,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's not
Okay,
his number.
not him.
12
Okay.
might have been 12. Don't quote me. I think it was 12.
12.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can answer this question too, because I'm a big LSU fan or anything close to that. But he says, do you think that Moss, the son of
Not
Randy
even
Moss,
close. No, I don't.
would be better than his dad in the
No.
pros?
There's nothing in his skill set that says that he can be anything on the level of his father.
Is
No.
he a receiver himself, or does he play a
I
different position
believe he's a tight end.
or tight end?
I believe, yeah.
Well, look at Jerry Rice kids or kid.
Come on,
He,
man. That's a
he
that's a lot to hang up to, you know. It's
yeah,
like
yes.
how many guys really have it's like when you have a father that can ball, uh, what is the likelihood you're gonna be better than him? It's like, okay, you had Barry Bonds was better than Bobby Bonds, even though he was a Hall of Famer, you know. And then you have Ken Griffey's dad was a good ball player, not great, but you know his son was better than him. Kobe's dad in the ABA was a good ball player, but
Kobe
he was
was better.
nothing
Yeah.
like his son. Yeah,
Was it like? Isn't Christian McCarthy better than his dad, Ed McCarthy?
McCaffrey, you mean?
McCaffrey, excuse me. Yeah,
Christian's better than Ed. Yeah,
and
uh,
Ed was pretty good.
yeah. Ed was a pretty good receiver. You know, especially in his later days. You know, he was like you know, scrub status until he got to Denver.
Denver, yeah.
Yeah, and he really showed himself there. He was pretty good. Um, you know, there's not a lot of kids though. When you start thinking about it, most of the kids fall short.
Especially if you have a father like Moss or Jerry Rice,
Yeah, well,
they
that's
put
not
up the
fair.
numbers.
Yeah, that's not fair. And you
Yeah,
know, I know Ken Norton had a father that was in a different sport, as did Grant Hill. But
yeah. He was a boxer. Yeah,
yeah, you know, but Grant Hill's dad was a good football player, but he was not as good as Grant Hill was a basketball player. That's pretty easy to see, you know.
yeah. Sometimes when the bar is set up that high,
Yeah,
it almost puts you in a place to fail, man,
yeah,
because of all the people that eyes are on you and the
yeah,
expectations they have
yeah,
for you, and
yeah.
it's just hard, man, to get out of that shadow.
It's like, how could Dwayne Wade or LeBron James's kid be better than them? What is the likelihood of that? And
Yeah.
good luck.
Or
You know?
Jordan.
Yeah, it's probably not happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's only a handful of players you can name that might be better than them, and I have to say might might be better than them ever, let alone their own seed. I don't.
It's funny. It's funny that we're on this topic. Is there a player that has played football, not any other sport, just football, that a son has become better than his pops, other than McCaffrey so
Mm,
far? But I'm talking
maybe,
about a good
maybe,
father.
maybe. Clay Matthews, perhaps. No,
Oh, his dad played for
his
the
dad,
Titans,
his dad and his uncle, huh?
Tennessee. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
I'm trying to think of their name. I can't think of their names.
Bruce Matthews
Bruce.
is
Bruce.
yeah,
Yes, that's an
and
uncle.
Bruce is the uncle.
Yeah, I think.
Mm.
Could be wrong, but
Bruce was the lineman.
lineman. Yes.
Yeah, he was the offensive lineman.
Yeah, for the Titans or the Oilers.
Yeah, Oilers primarily. I don't know
Yeah,
if he was. I don't know if he ever made it to be Titans, but uh, I don't know
but
if he was
Oilers.
there
Yeah,
that long. But maybe. Yeah,
I
same
think he did.
franchise.
Yeah,
Let me
I,
see.
I think.
Um, I don't know. Let me see. Um,
Who out there? It's an interesting question to think of. 'Cause a lot of
well, like we said, McCaffrey was the one that was a pretty good call right there. Is yeah, Christian is better than Ed.
but then again, Ed's not a Hall of Famer
Oh,
either.
and here's the easy one. Peyton Manning.
Oh, that's wrong.
What?
Even Eli's better than his dad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I never thought Dad was that good. They used to give him a lot of hype. I never saw it.
Well, it's just the Saints at that time were just terrible, man.
Okay, well, you can be terrible, but you were not a good quarterback.
To begin with, on a
Yeah,
terrible team doesn't help either, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Being
yeah,
a bad quarterback on a bad team is.
yeah. You know, they tried to make him out to be a good quarterback on a bad team, and I didn't see that.
Oh, here comes Mr. Florida Mike. Let me bring him in. Give me a second. Making all that noise in the background.
What's happening, Mike?
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Florida Mike? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man.
Welcome to our live on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Yep, yep.
We were talking about. I don't know if you heard us. We were talking prior to you just coming in, but we were talking about all pro fathers that played football in the NFL, and they have sons in the NFL now. Are their sons better than their pops, or do they have the potential of being better than their pops? Any thoughts on that, Florida Mike?
It's kind of hard to find one, really. You know, where there was all pro. You know, Bruce Matthews and Clay Matthews are probably the ones that I'll settle on because Bruce
Although
was
I
Bruce.
still think Bruce was better though
Yeah, that's debatable.
than Clay.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Bruce is a Hall of Famer. You
Is
think?
he?
Yeah.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I'm not 100%
I
sure.
could tell you,
Yeah.
I could tell you the son of a coach that's better than his dad in the NFL.
Ryan.
Kyle
No, you said a son. My bad. Never.
Kyle Shanahan, baby.
Kyle Shanahan's better than Mike.
Nope.
I don't know about that. It's too soon to tell. We're talking
Yeah.
about a
I
guy
see
that's done
look.
3 years.
See the future. SF.
Yeah, but his
Yeah,
dad has 2
well,
Super Bowls.
you got to
Kyle
look
Shanahan.
into the future to come up with that answer because it hasn't happened yet.
San Francisco, he's gonna outdo his dad. Watch.
Okay, well,
No, that's a statement you're making. That's
gonna
about
say that he's going to be better. He's not better today.
He is better today.
Okay, well, that's a
matter of opinion.
Yeah, you know, based on
Nah.
what I have no idea, but yeah.
Big respect to Mike Shanahan though, because I guarantee you Kyle was probably getting some pointers from his dad in that this season.
Way. I'm gonna venture to say that Kyle Shanahan is not only getting pointers, he's got an assistant coach in his father.
I'm sorry. He is a Hall of Fame, by the way, Bruce. Yep.
Yes,
he was selected in 2007.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that he's got a father that is basically like an assistant coach.
Oh, of course. And honestly, man, all jokes aside, man, I had to come on here and stir the pot a little bit, but you know I'm gonna have to go with the dad, honestly, because it's Mike, man. Mike stick together, baby. Mike Shanahan, baby.
I just like it. They're both right now, Rooney. I love it that we have Kyle, leading our team right now, and having his dad on the side it doesn't hurt, man. It doesn't hurt.
His
One
dad
bit.
is definitely co-MVP to me, man. So
Yeah,
hey,
I like.
I'm gonna throw a little fire sparks up in here, man. When I'm coming in the show,
Go ahead and do that, Mike. I'm gonna step away for a second, and I'll be right back, guys. Go ahead, Mike.
So I'm hearing that this year that people are saying that we're gonna have the hardest schedule in the league, or one of the top 5 hardest schedules in the league.
Yeah, we're ranked number 5 right now.
Right. So I looked at a few of the games. I mean, I believe I saw the Dolphins on there, the Cowboys. I mean,
well, you have the NFC East and the AFC East, so of course you have those teams. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean those 2 divisions to me were the weakest last year. They were definitely up there. I mean, the AFC East was more improved than they traditionally been, with Buffalo playing really well. But I mean, yet this past year, AFC East was better than they normally been. I admit that, but I'm still not looking at them as like, what we had to endure this year. I don't know, but we can't really go off last year because the year before this year, San Francisco was a 6-win team and we went to the Super Bowl. So every year could be different, but I also think San Francisco would have been a better team had Garoppolo not got hurt, and because we drafted so high because of his injury and got a phenomenal player in Bosa, that expedited our process a lot faster. So I'm not so certain that other teams make a jump like that had losing records like we did.
Yeah, yeah, it's not likely.
So with that being said, I'm not so certain that our fifth perceived hardest schedule, maybe because of our division and some other key games here and there, but I don't know, man. We played Baltimore, New Orleans. We're gonna have to play New Orleans again, I'm sure. Um, I mean, I don't know, man. It just felt last year we had that stretch where we played Baltimore, New Orleans, and was it Green Bay,
Yeah.
Atlanta? You know,
You know what? I'm I'm looking at our schedule for 2020, and one of the things that's missing, which I don't know how that's going to work, because I pretty much know how the schedules are how they break down. Um, I don't see who the 17th game is going to be. Yeah, they
yeah,
haven't put that, and it's really easy to determine who you're going to play, because if you're in the NFC West, those are your first 6 games. You got 3 home, 3 away against your division. So that's the first 6. And then you get one NFC division outside of yours, which this year for us it will be the NFC East. So that means we'll get the Redskins, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. That's 4 more. That's 10. You get one AFC division, which will be the AFC East, which is Buffalo, Miami, New England, and the Jets.
the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there you go. That's 14 games. Then your last 2 games, because we have the NFC East, will be against since we were a first place team, we will get the first place team out of the NFC North and the first place team out of the NFC South, which means that we'll be playing the Packers and the Saints again. So
right.
that's how that works. Now, the 17th game, I don't know the rhyme or reason for that, how that's going to work. I have no idea what they plan to do. Uh, and now you're going to have a weird schedule. We've never had an odd number of games. You're going to have either more home games than away, or more away games than home. It was always 8-8, 6-6, you know, uh, 7-7 at one point when it was a 14-game schedule, but never an uneven number. Yeah, it's going to be weird. I don't know what they're going to do, but I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, man. And to add on to that, honestly, I ain't worried about all that schedule talk they talking because every year it's gonna come in. We have this, we have that. Bottom line is teams got to play us. That's how I see it. Damn it, it ain't us playing them. And I don't really think last year we had the same perceived harder schedule, which indeed it turned out you know to be very challenging, especially towards the end. But the funny thing was before the season, they said that. Then after the first 8 weeks of the season, they were saying our season was soft because of what we did the next 8 weeks. It's like they pick and choose. They go through these emotional roller coasters. I mean, in my humble opinion, every NFL game is tough. These are NFL teams. Some teams have it more together than others, but any given Sunday, so you know, you got to come to play lights out. I don't really think there's an easy schedule. I think there's just, some teams, like I said,
Mm,
have it more together than others.
I don't know about that. I've seen too many New England Patriots schedules that I say, yes, there are easy schedules. Especially the softer your division is, if you were a good team, especially an outstanding team in a
Hmm.
terrible division, you've already got a leg up. You know, they were
Well,
they were 5 or 6 wins to the plus from the word say go.
if you're looking at it from a perspective of divisions being harder or softer with quality teams, I can agree with that to an extent. I can agree that the NFC West, for example, is superior to the NFC East or the AFC East. I agree with that. However,
Well,
if you're looking at the AFC East, if it were so easy, Miami wouldn't beat New England damn 50% of the time they play because every time they go to
yeah,
Miami,
well. But
Like
then they win
and they
all
say,
the
but
other
Miami's
games, though.
beating them
They win
pretty.
all the other games, though. So
Yeah. But
is it
my
easy?
point is, with what I'm saying is, this is the NFL. So
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, this is the best of the best. These are top notch athletes at this level, and you have to bring it every Sunday. It might appear to be easy for fans because of the record and the domination, maybe pulling away in the second half or whatever, but it's not easy. It might look easy, but it's not easy. These
But,
top level athletes. That's why I'm saying it. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you have some divisions or a schedule in general that might be weaker. Like the NFC is perceived to be stronger than the AFC. We have a harder route to the Super Bowl than say Kansas
it's not
City.
perceived. It's a fact. That is a fact.
Well, I'm only saying perceived because you got the homers out there who gonna disagree. But bottom line is, even with the NFC being a tougher conference, at the end of the day, we can't act like the middle tier teams in the AFC are easy wins. I mean, Atlanta was an easy win on paper, but we lost. You see what I'm saying? Atlanta was down there in the lower tier of their division in the NFC. They weren't one of the best teams. They finished a little better towards the end, the last few games, but for the majority of the season, they weren't really hot, and
Yeah.
we lost to them.
So,
So,
yeah, basically that means nothing. What that means is that you're saying that a team can let down because that's what happened. It has nothing to do with, you know, if they're beatable or not beatable. I mean, when you got teams that are riding around like Atlanta, they're all beatable at that. You know, we slept on them, and that's what happens.
okay. Well, then you got teams like the Cowboys who have more talent than a lot of teams, and they couldn't even win their division. You see what I'm saying? So once again,
That's coaching. That's coaching. That's a whole different ballgame. That's coaching.
but at the end of the day, whether it's coaching or not, their team is so talented on paper. They still have a team. It's funny how, see, this is where it gets tricky. If Dallas is a coaching problem, then what about teams that have talent that they say their coach is not that great? They got all the players. Like, this is what casual fans say. I'm just speaking on casual fans. So at
Oh
the end,
well, I don't have a whole lot to say about that. You know, you're trying to take this in a direction that I don't live in that world. So be it.
no, I'm not taking it in any direction.
I'm,
I'm putting a emphasis on, if we say that other teams have it easier than other teams, I'm
that's true.
saying
That's true.
if if that's the case, then New England shouldn't have 6 Super Bowls since they had one of the easiest paths to the NFL Super Bowl, because the teams that they played against in the NFC had a harder road. The better teams to get to
Uh,
win.
yeah, and you have a harder road. Not saying that you're better than New England. It says that they get to half-heartedly play through some of their games and still come up with W's. Where if you're doing that over in the NFC West, you lose every game in the NFC West. So no, there is something to be said about having that tougher path. You know, you talk about a veteran team like New England. It wasn't always easy for them. The first few years that they were really championship caliber, that was not easy for them. You know, and as a matter of fact, there were times that they didn't win that division. So it became easier with time because the Jets fell off and they became awful. Miami, who was decent, fell off and became awful. The Jets, I mean, not the Jets, but Buffalo had a lot of years of being awful, and they're just kind of coming around here lately. They haven't been this good since Jim Kelly was their quarterback. So they had a lot of years of a down division that was just atrocious. And yeah, they would lose some games to Miami, but they weren't losing to anybody else. Every once in a blue moon, they'd lose to Buffalo. But you look at them and they were winning 12, 13 games year in, year out, and they were rolling up 5 to 6 wins in that division of those 12 to 13 games every year. So,
Okay, I'm gonna try to make my point a little bit better. Beto, for example, is a Clemson fan. When you talk about how the perceived notion that the ACC is an
oh,
easy route to get there, they have dominated the best team that had a harder route in Alabama. and they didn't play the same type of competition. But Clemson dominated and blew Alabama out. I understand it's college, but I'm just saying from the perspective of
And
perceived easier
and
route,
the year before, you talk about 1 year, and the year before when they rolled through just the same, what happened to Clemson that year?
they didn't get blown out.
They lost.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not okay. Clemson has been in the championship almost every year. Alabama can't say that. Clemson has
Almost
dominated
every
Alabama.
Alabama has.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Alabama can't say that? Oh,
Yeah.
stop it.
No,
Stop it. Now we're getting ridiculous.
LSU just went this past year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Auburn has went recently. It's not like every year Alabama has gone and won. They have lost. They
But
have lost to Clemson multiple times.
Alabama was
twice.
there
Deshaun
3 years
Watson,
ago.
Twice.
Trevor Lawrence.
Let's not talk about Nuggets 100 times. Twice. How many
Yeah.
times have they won in the last 10 years?
Nick Saban in Alabama. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah, I
man.
mean they've
Stop
won
it.
a lot, but they haven't.
Oh, so they didn't win every one, so we're gonna bash them for that. Come on, man.
No, we're
Really?
not bashing
Really?
for that. What I'm saying,
This is what we're talking
okay, in the
about.
last 10 years,
They won more than Clemson.
A
well,
lot
yeah,
more.
I mean,
A
yeah, but
lot more.
Yeah.
they've won more than Clemson, but Nick Saban's been around Alabama more than
Just in
Dabo
the last
Swinney.
decade. Let's just go the last 10 years. We're not going all that. 10 years. You act like they're not there. It's like the Alabama Bowl. I mean, come on.
I'm saying, listen what I'm saying, bro. I'm telling you that Alabama has had the hardest schedule in forever. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I mean, in the last 10 years, and I'm saying you have never seen a Clemson team or a team in general, not even from the SEC, that has dominated Alabama like that ever with Nick Saban. Never. No team has dominated them like that, bro.
One game.
I'm saying
One game.
Even though I'm a Clemson Tiger fan, it was
Whippy.
just a one game. Yeah.
One game.
My whole point is a team that had an easier route to get there
That
didn't
don't
play
have
like
nothing to do with
that competition
nothing.
they played.
No. You know what? Basically,
I'm
you're
just
making
saying.
my argument for me. Okay, they beat up on Alabama. Alabama had the harder route, except for, of course, it's just their conference route. Once they get outside of conference, it's a joke. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the three of us might be able to beat some of those teams they play in the damn non-conference schedule. It's ridiculous. But my thing is, you're making my argument for me. The Alabama argument with Clemson dominating them is the New England argument. You get an easy road all the way through. You weren't better than that team that year because that's why they beat the brakes off of them, because Clemson was the better team that year. Okay. But
Okay, so
most
you're
years,
making my point.
Alabama is the best team.
But you're making my point. With that being said, again, if Clemson was the better team, then all of that talk about the easier route goes out the window, because if it was about having an easier route to get there, and then you shouldn't dominate a team like that. That's my point. Because everybody said,
that's no point.
hold on.
You know what? I'm ready for a new subject. Go ahead. You can have this.
Everybody said that the reason why there's no way that Clemson will blow that team out because they play in a weaker conference. They have a weaker schedule. Then when it happens, they want to turn around and say, oh, Clemson really was a better team. And all I'm saying is, if you have a perceived weaker schedule or weaker conference and an easier route to get there, then you should not blow a team out that has a harder conference or route to get there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this.
What you said, next subject.
9 out of 10 times can Clemson blow out Alabama?
Well, we don't know because they didn't get there this year. LSU did, so we don't know what would have happened if Alabama was good enough to get there.
I love that we blew them out. And
if Alabama got there this year, they might have blown them out again. We don't know.
Alabama played pretty bad. That
we don't know. LSU got there, so we don't know. They weren't good enough to get
How did we get onto college?
Yeah.
I got on here.
Because I brought up an analogy.
Yeah, because he switched gears. An analogy means nothing.
I just
okay, calm down.
Analogy.
It's okay. We can all agree to disagree and have our points and make it exciting for the viewers.
Yeah,
without getting upset or.
I'm not upset.
And listen. If we don't put emotion behind our argument, we're gonna have a baseless show, bro. This is not upset. I'm gonna chop with y'all. Y'all my boys. I love y'all, but I respectfully disagree with part of your statement. I acknowledge that New England schedule is being weaker, and they have an easier route to get there. I admit to that, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that if they were in the NFC that they wouldn't have some type of success with the type of offense they run. It'll be a lot harder for them, but they're still a good
Okay.
quality team.
Well,
I know you don't
well,
like it,
let's
but
let's put it this way. Um, and this is where I'm going to sum it up. I don't have much more to say about this. Bottom line is, if you can get to the championship game with an easier path, the more times you get the opportunity to get there, like the AFC was a joke. They were running through the AFC. Even good teams in the AFC were just just shit on by New England, basically. You know, and it was a joke. And every once in a while, somebody would rise up and get them. Maybe it was Baltimore. In more cases than not, it was Baltimore. When it was Peyton Manning, it was Indianapolis that got there a couple of times on them. But overall, they were there a lot. And the more you can get there, obviously, the more opportunities you have to win it. You got to get there first.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
when you
point.
get over there in the NFC and you got Green Bay rising up, you got New Orleans rising up, you got Seattle rising up, now you got San Francisco rising up, you got all these different teams that come at you. And you know what? When we were in the Hara era, you had New York rising up. You know, it was always somebody else. But you know, a lot of those times, shoot, Seattle played New England. You know, we happened to come into the Baltimore year, but you know, also, what's their names? Played New England. Who is it? New England beat them
And,
too. Atlanta,
and
when they got there, they played New England. You know, Carolina. Who is it that Carolina played? Denver. Yeah, Denver. Peyton Manning. They got there the one year, but there's a whole lot of over there last
Giants.
year. Yeah,
okay.
Giants
With
played them
with
twice.
with with all of that being said, I remember when the Niners and the Falcons was in the same division, and we had the perceived easy route, and we were winning. We weren't saying that about us. We were saying, "Hey, we still had to go
Oh
through."
no, no, no,
I'm not
no.
listen.
We
I'm
had an
not
easy
saying
route.
you.
Damn that.
I'm not
Damn
saying
that. I
you.
don't know who wasn't saying it, but we had it easy. We had a time where, yeah, New Orleans would be a better team occasionally. Atlanta would be the better team occasionally. And other times you had the Rams that were a very good team. But you never had two or three of them at the same time, really. Most of the time, it was one or none of them in some
That's
cases.
that's that's my point. So what I'm saying
That
is the
was an
same.
easy path, and we were there a lot. But
Okay,
here's the
but
problem.
listen, the
Here's the
same.
problem, though. When you're talking about that, the NFC was dominant back then, and you had teams like the Redskins, the Cowboys, the Giants. You know, the Bears snuck up in there. You had everything was coming from the NFC. When you were talking about Super Bowl W's, it was all about the NFC. For about 13, 14 years straight,
Yeah,
it was
they
about the
dominated.
NFC. So all it was it never flipped. It was always the NFC. Even when the AFC jumped in there and won from time to time, it was their one team. We had a group that were just beating up on each other. It just wasn't the NFC West was an easy path. The NFC was not an easy path. So it's different.
Well, yeah, again, that could be open to interpretation because the AFC could say at that time they had the Bills, they had the Oilers, they had the Broncos. I mean, they had some teams too. It wasn't like it was just all cake and peaches over there either. They had some. They
Wait
had
a
some.
minute.
They
It was
had some
cake and
teams
peaches
too.
in the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, though, they had
The
some teams
Super
that.
Bowl was the NFC championship for over a decade. Okay.
Yeah, but again, they had some. It wasn't like I think it was a little more weaker from the AFC today's than back then, in my opinion. But my whole point was the same Niner fans that are agreeing with we got a harder route now are the same Niner fans that was saying we had a harder route back then because they didn't want to
Well,
admit that our route was a little easier.
well,
You
our
understand what
route
I'm
through
saying?
the NFC West was easier. I will give
No,
you
they were
that.
saying it was harder. I hear you.
That's crap. That's crap. You and I both know
Yeah,
that's crap.
back in
That was an
the
easy
But back
division.
in the day, though,
What did we win that
every.
division? Like like
back in that time it was the East was the
in the
hardest one.
yeah, it was by far. I mean, all of the Super Bowl champions were coming out of was either us or the
Remember,
NFC
they
East.
have total of 13 Super Bowls combined.
Well, that's
in the
later,
East.
but I mean, just in that format, you had Dallas win those 3 at the end. You had the Giants win 3 in that bunch, and the Redskins won 3 in that bunch.
Yeah, they have 3, 4. Dallas 5, Giants 4,
Wait, the Redskins
Redskins
won
3,
in
and then
the
Eagles 1.
90s?
Where Redskins won theirs starting in the 81,
Oh, yeah.
81.
I mean, that's
82, 87, and then I think it was 91 that they won the
I,
other one.
I was referencing more around the time the Niners started winning, like 80s, 90s, like around there.
Well, that's the
Like,
same time frame. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
82,
the
87,
for
91.
the
That's
Raiders, yeah.
all part of that.
Redskins.
Niners were pretty much from 81 to like 96 roughly.
The teams you always saw in the playoffs was the
That was their
Bears.
domination. That year, that decade and a half of domination was right there.
Back
And
in that
all
era,
of those
was
3 Redskins Super Bowls were in that period.
period. Back in that era, it was the Cowboys, Redskins. It was the Bears. It was Giants. No, not Giants. Who else was in there? It wasn't Green Bay either.
Green Bay
Pretty much,
didn't come lately. They were at the end of that.
I think those are it. I think it was pretty much the Bears.
Bears jumped in there and got 1. Yeah.
Yeah. In 85.
Yeah. And outside of that,
Green Bay, although they never got there, but they were competitive.
hey, look, I agree the NFC is harder. I'm not saying it's not. That's not my argument. Just saying that I'm not going to say I'll agree with the statement partially. I'm just saying I don't agree that if a team has an easier route that, you know what I'm saying, they get there and it's kind of like, all right, well they should win because they weren't beat up or this and that. At the end of the day, we don't know what a team would do if they were in another division. It's highly unlikely New England wins all those Super Bowls if they win our division.
If they were in the NFC, they don't win all of those.
You're probably right. You're probably right. However, they still would be a formidable opponent, though. They would be certainly better than some of the lower end tier NFC teams that haven't done a damn thing.
A lot of those.
That's all I was saying.
A lot of those in the AFC.
I agree, though. I tell AFC fans that all the time. Hint, hint, Kansas City. That San Francisco definitely had a harder route to get there, so it does challenge us to be able to play at a higher level, and it's a lot more different. The NFC to me is harder than the AFC. Those are facts. I'll give you that.
If the Ravens wouldn't have lost to the Titans, man, there's no way Kansas City would have made it to that Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I just don't
opinion.
want to make it seem like I'm gonna discredit the team that has an easier route, but they're a formidable team. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I was getting at.
Oh yeah, it's probably if the Ravens hadn't blown that, you're probably looking at a Ravens-Niners Super Bowl, which a lot of people predicted.
Yeah, that's in the middle. That's where
I would love to play them again too. But I mean, the top
but they would have had 3 Super Bowl wins.
The top 3 teams in the AFC, I think, are formidable enough to play against NFC competition if they had to play in the conference. I'm not saying they will win.
You said the top 3?
Yeah.
You mean the top 3 from last year, not this year's top 3, right?
Whoever,
Because we're not counting Boston in that, are we?
No. Not no more.
I mean,
it's a new sheriff in town. That's called the Buffalo Bills.
All I'm saying is that the conference is weaker, but the top echelon teams in the conference, I believe, will be more formidable than the lower tier of the NFC. That's all.
Top is better than the bottom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the top of the AFC is better than the bottom of the NFC. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying that if they were in the NFC, they would still have some type of level of success. It just wouldn't be at the rate they had in the AFC. It's not like they come over here and be 0-16 or 8-8. They still would have a winning record. They just wouldn't be as good as what they are in the AFC.
True.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I was making the argument the whole time.
Guys blue.
Real quick, guys, just to kind of change it up another bit. In your guys' opinion, now that Mr. Brady is gone, who wins the East and the AFC? In your guys' opinion,
If
ABB.
they all stay healthy, man, Buffalo.
Anybody but Boston.
but I think the Buffalo Bills have the better chance, don't you?
Yeah.
They're the best team left. Yeah.
Because I see
Will
the
they
Jets
win?
on transition. Miami is complete. I mean, they had a lot of good free agents, but they still have to gel. You know, so I'm thinking that the Dolphins would still take about a year or two. What about the what do you call it?
Yeah. What do you call it?
I
The
tell you
AFC
who I
Not a
South.
think
football
gonna be
team.
I tell you who I think is gonna be the team of the NFC West, the two teams to be in the future.
Of the West,
Yeah,
Cardinals and Niners.
San Francisco and Arizona, absolutely.
Mm,
I think as long as Seattle has Wilson, they'll be there. But I think Arizona's
Yeah,
ascending.
you can never count Seattle out with Wilson, man.
Right, but notice I said the future. Russell Wilson, he's gonna decline at some point. I mean, he's gonna do his thing, but Seattle,
wow.
I
He's
don't know if they're gonna
he's
be at that level all the time. But I think Arizona can ascend Seattle. I really
yeah.
do.
He's a fairly young guy. He's not done. Yeah.
Yeah, he might not be, but I don't think his team is. I don't know. I mean, they gonna be competitive. I get that. You know, I hate to say it right now, they'll probably be at minimum a wild card. As long as he's there. But I just think Arizona has that ability to creep in and be right in there. You know what I mean? I think San Francisco's gonna be number one, but Arizona, Seattle is gonna battle out for number two.
Mhm.
Well, we definitely know for what we can definitely agree on. The Rams will be in the cellar in 2020.
Well, this year anyway. We'll see if
Yeah.
they can get back into, once they can draft again, they should be all right.
Yeah, once they can get some capital back, right?
That's 2 years away still.
Just terrible. That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
I want to give you guys a little bit of trivia without looking at your phones. Okay, there's out of the 4 divisions of the West. I mean, excuse me, of the NFC and the AFC. There's 2 of them with the same amount of Super Bowls twice. There's 2 different numbers. I don't know if I'm asking the question correctly.
Yeah.
Out of all,
No.
okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, we have 4 divisions on the NFC and 4 on the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
1 in the NFC and 1 of the AFC match the same number of Super Bowls at one number, and then there's the other side that matches at a different number. I want to see your skills of a history remembrance. Which number of Super Bowls do those conferences match? Do you guys know?
Yeah. Do I get to put it on a piece of paper? I'm not remembering how many Super Bowls each and every team has off the top of my head.
I wouldn't remember either if I didn't have the thing in front of me, but I just thought I would see how good you guys were.
Yeah, you give me a piece of paper and write down all the teams. I'll tell you how many Super Bowls they have. Yeah,
Okay,
so I can figure that out.
Okay, the NFC South.
Okay, NFC South has the Saints. They only have 1. They have Atlanta that has none. They have Tampa Bay that has 1, and they have Carolina that has none. There you go.
2. So that's 2. Okay, so now you tell me the AFC South.
AFC South, Tennessee, 0. Houston, 0. Other teams. Indianapolis, 1.
Nope.
What?
Nope, you're wrong.
How am I wrong? What other Super Bowl did Indianapolis win that didn't have Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning got 1.
Yeah, they got 2.
Yeah.
You said 1, got 2. They're the only ones in that division that has 2. The Jaguars have 0. The Titans have 0.
2?
The Colts.
No, you don't get to take the Baltimore Colts that moved to Baltimore. The Ravens. No, you don't get
Baltimore,
that. Come on now. No, that's wrong.
It's the same team.
100% wrong. No.
That's what I was about to ask. Because I'm like, we're going to factor. I was just about to ask that. I'm like, are we going to factor?
No.
They won when they were the Baltimore Colts.
So is that how we're doing it? If we're doing that, I knew that. That wasn't a secret.
I mean, because the Texans and the Oilers. I mean, I don't know what the Oilers.
Are we going to do that? Texans and the Oilers.
No, but we're talking about. But they didn't win Super Bowls in different different franchises or different
No,
cities.
because they actually won none. But
Yeah, I'm talking about
yeah.
Super Bowls.
Okay, we could talk
Regardless
about
of what
Colts
city.
franchise has 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
See, yeah, it's just a franchise. Whether Baltimore or Indianapolis, they have 2.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Right.
All right.
So that anyway, those are the 2 with 2 that are tied.
Hold on. You're
The
talking
South
about the
and the South NFC South and AFC South both have only 2 Super Bowls combined, which match up. That's what I meant.
okay.
Just for video wise. And then
That sucks.
yeah, and then you have the AFC North with the Steelers 6.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore with forget. Would you have to? They didn't win any. Well, they didn't win
No,
Super Bowls.
both of them are Baltimore.
Okay, so then Baltimore won theirs. Yeah, so that's 2 more.
Yeah, so
And then
total.
Then you have Pittsburgh. I mean Cincinnati and Cleveland that haven't won jack.
So that's 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's and then the NFC West. I mean AFC West.
AFC West has the Raiders with 3, Kansas City with 2, Denver with 3. And there you go. That's it. San Diego has none.
No, yeah, there's the 8. Yeah, just for a little bit of. But yeah. So, but the Colts. And so, and which is the division that has the most Super Bowls combined?
Of course, it's the NFC East.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I know
they have a multitude of Super Bowls from
I know
3
one
teams.
thing. I know San Francisco got more Super Bowls than everybody in our division. How about
Put together.
Combined. I just had to throw that in there. They're my 2 cents.
They might have. I don't recall, but they might have almost as many Super Bowls as we have Super Bowl appearances from those teams, huh? It's pretty close.
Yeah. 7 Super Bowls combined, 7 appearances by us.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Although I'm starting to hate the trend that we're heading in, because before I used to always take pride in saying that we went Super Bowl 5 times and we won 5 times. Now we're going in a kind of a different trend with losing 2 Super Bowls. So I'm like, hopefully it's not like the next 5 Super Bowls we lose. Hopefully we snap out of that trend real quick.
Yeah, we don't want to be like Boston.
No. Let's get out of that trend quickly. So which is the second division that has the most Super Bowls combined? That's pretty good. I mean, from remembering, it's not really they get to be smart or not, just in remembering history.
See,
I wouldn't have got it. I'll be honest.
Second most, I wouldn't just know off the top of my head. Let's see. You got the Patriots with theirs. That's 6. You got the Jets with 1. That's 7. You've got who else in that? Buffalo with 0. And Miami has, that's it right there. They're second.
How many Miami have?
Miami has 2.
Yep, 9. Yeah, you're good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it. That's the East is the second highest, right behind. Although Green Bay Packer fans may argue that with their 13 champions. Now, see that
3.
That's different. Yeah,
3.
Earlier, we were saying about Baltimore Colts. It's a little different with Bears and their 9 championships and the 13 with the Green Bay. Those are not Super Bowls.
Yeah, and then you start getting into the Cleveland Browns with that as well. And who do those count to? Do they go to the Ravens or do they go to the Browns?
The Browns won. Did the Browns win? I don't think the Browns won anything. Even the old Browns.
Oh yeah, Jim Brown won. Don't get that.
But I'm talking about Super Bowls though. Those are the championship.
Prior to the Super Bowl, no. But see, that's what we were talking about. When you started bringing up Green Bay and Chicago, those are champions.
Oh yeah, right now, yes. I got you.
Yeah. So, but who do those count toward? Do they count toward the Ravens or do they count toward the Browns?
See, that one would be a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
I would
say the Ravens.
Browns.
I would say the Ravens, not the Browns. The Browns are an expansion team, the current Browns. That team moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens. I say that those old ones belong to Paul Brown's franchise. That's what I say.
But the
They
Ravens,
got up and
okay,
left in the middle of the night.
Ravens won 2 Super Bowls on their own.
Yeah. So, but when those
I'm trying,
championships, you want to go back to those NFL championships.
but the
It,
original Brown were what, the Ravens?
yes.
So the Ravens have 3 then,
No, they
supposedly.
have more than that because Jim Brown didn't just win once.
Oh, he won more. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So if you add the championships, they won. But
Yeah.
it'll be all the old Browns, which is the Ravens. Nothing to do with the new Browns. Absolutely, because that's a new franchise that took
Exactly.
over. So yeah, 100% there. 100% there. So real quick, just for conversation wise, in your guys' opinion, who's the best quarterback? Non-named Joe Montana and Tom Brady, in your guys' opinion, to ever win a Super Bowl?
Ever win a Super Bowl?
In any era. Just, Super Bowl, obviously, duh. But best quarterback in your thoughts, not Montana, not Brady.
Well, this young Patrick Mahomes is making a strong argument of it so far, but I think he's too young to put him in there.
Yeah.
I might have to go with Aaron Rodgers.
He only won 1, though.
It's not about how many you win. Your question was,
Yes.
who is the greatest quarterback that won
True.
a Super Bowl, not named Brady? So it doesn't matter how many you win. I think there were greater quarterbacks that didn't win.
So you think he's better than Payne?
I don't know. That's close. I like Peyton. I mean, if I was choosing a player, that was.
But you mentioned Rodgers though.
Yeah, but I think Rodgers is got a little bit of an edge.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who's a better quarterback for Green Bay, Rodgers or Favre?
Oh, Rodgers. No question.
Okay.
No question.
Okay. Yeah.
What about
Favre was overrated personally.
I don't think so. I just think that he was a turnover machine. But you know what? When he was hot, there was nothing you could do about him, and that's why he won a Super Bowl.
What about John Elway, not named Montana or Brady?
That's another good one.
John Elway, I forgot about him.
That's another darn good one. Yeah.
You know what? If I have to be honest, that's who I would pick. However, I'm a Steve Young fan. I'll never betray my guy. Steve Young.
Okay. Question: who's the best quarterback to play football? That went to Super Bowl but hasn't won it.
Might be Dan Marino.
Yeah, I'm about to say Marino. It would be my guy.
Really? I like Jim Kelly.
Yo.
Hey, you don't lose 4 times in a row, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty big. I like Marino. Marino's obviously the best one. But
you know what they say the Bills?
That sucks, huh?
You know what they say the Bills stand for?
Boy,
I love losing Super Bowls.
Well,
then
there's also this. It's kind of a major shot that you lost 4 champions. Do you know that no other professional sports team has ever lost 4 consecutive championship games? No matter what sport you go to, it's never happened.
No, they hold that record, a bad record, but they hold that record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
consecutive. I mean, that just tells you how bad the AFC was back then.
Yeah. I mean, they were the cream of the crop, but they just weren't. I mean, I think they came up against 3 different teams in the 4, right?
Washington, Washington Giants, and Dallas.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dallas twice, right?
Dallas twice, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was not going to say that out loud. I can't stand Dallas.
Outside of the Giants, there was not a competitive game.
No. That one came down to a field goal.
A missed 47-yard field goal. Yeah.
They could have won that game for them for the very first Super Bowl.
They should have won.
They should have won, yeah. I felt bad for Jim Kelly in that one.
They were the better team.
Smith.
They were the better team. They should not have lost.
Thornton Thomas, or was that his name, the running back?
Thurman Thomas?
Yeah. Thurman Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some good players.
Crazy thing about that guy. Do you know that him and Barry Sanders were 2 years apart at Oklahoma State? And
really?
Thurman Thomas was the starter. He got hurt and missed 3 games his senior season. Barry Sanders took over for him and had almost like 800 yards in 3 games, and they gave him his job back. Yeah, had almost 800 yards in 3 games, and they gave him his job back. Thurman Thomas ended up that year with like 1,600 yards. Went to the NFL. Obviously, was a outstanding pro. And Barry Sanders set rushing records that still exist today. The very next season in college, like
That's
2,500 rushing yards, something like that, something ridiculous. Yeah, it still hasn't been broken to this day.
crazy. Defensive ends, which is better, Reggie White or Charles Haley?
Oh, Reggie White. Yeah.
Okay. I say that because you guys, we're Niner fans, so I just want to make sure you will not pull in I'm a Niner, so I'm going to go with
Steve Young
Charles
is the
Haley.
best.
Steve Young.
I'm riding with Young always. Young's better than everybody.
Not better than Montana, but I love Young.
Hey,
I love the
we
left
had no
hand.
drop off. That's all I know.
Yeah. Take that monkey off my back. I remember like it was yesterday. Montana.
Steve Young runs better than Montana.
I'll tell you this. Though I believe Montana's a better quarterback, I enjoyed watching Steve Young play more than watching Joe Montana. Yeah.
If you enjoy, if you love mobile quarterbacks, what's his name? What's his name? I can't think of. Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham was kind of exciting, you know. It's just that he was more up and down. Steve Young was very consistent. Cunningham would have an outstanding game, and then I would see him get in there against a team.
How about Tinker? I can't pronounce his name. The quarterback for the Minnesota team. Running wise, not necessarily. I'm talking about excitement of watching them run, not necessarily how good they were as quarterbacks.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't still not Steve Young. No, but yeah, it was kind of interesting.
That run against Minnesota, Steve Young, I still remember it, man, when he gassed it out, dropped it into the end zone because he was running for his life and made it into the end zone for a touchdown. Just dropped. Was one of the best runs of Steve Young history that in my personal opinion, against Minnesota.
I mean,
I was interested.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really his running ability. It was the fact that he did both so well. Because I can think of quarterbacks that their running catches my interest. Hell, Kaepernick was more of an interesting runner than Steve Young. Just wasn't a better player. So.
And you know the thing about it is when Steve Young was in Tampa Bay, he was not a good thrower.
Who knows?
He developed that in the Bill Walsh.
Who knows? Because he
said it himself.
The USFL just fine. You look at anybody in Tampa Bay. You had no offensive line. He damn near died there.
The Peter. That's the ugliest uniform ever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He was before the pewter. He was the bright orange. He was the creamsicle. Yeah, they didn't have the pewter.
Thank you, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Warren Moon?
Warren Moon is a great quarterback.
Good passer, good runner.
No, not a good runner at all. Slow as molasses.
Okay. Just making sure you guys. All right. Yeah. He's best runner of all time.
At a quarterback?
Yeah.
He's probably playing the game right now.
Oh, yeah. Ravens.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, the only one that to me outdoes Michael Vick.
Can we agree that both two top quarterbacks of the young bloods are Lamar Jackson and the guy over there in the Kansas City? I don't want to mention his name. For the foreseeable future,
I'm not sold on Lamar yet. I love his style. I like watching him, but you know he's got to show me more as a thrower. I'm not quite there on him.
Yeah. He came from Louisville, right?
Yeah, he's Louisville.
Yeah, that's right. That was not a bad one. He came back into the first round to take him. I'm like, what are the Ravens doing? But he's so far. He's been he's been, but the defense is starting to catch up to him a little bit. We'll see what he does in 2020.
Well,
But he's still interesting to watch.
it's going to be important for him to change his style up. He cannot continue to do what he's doing and last long.
Yeah. Definitely.
He's got the makings of a quarterback that's going to last like another 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
If he doesn't change his ways.
Do you think that's because he's mobile, or is he just the way he plays?
Oh no, because it's mobility, right?
It's not just the mobility; it's that he subjects himself to some pretty solid hits. He's lucky to not get hit more than he does, but he gets hit quite a bit.
As a Steve Young fanatic, I have a different view on mobile quarterbacks than most everybody else, because I think majority of the league has not catered to mobile quarterbacks until really recently. Like if you look at from the 90s to 2000s, you had some here and there, but majority of the league wasn't catering. Like now, they have offenses tailored to them, so now these guys can kind of do more. Like Russell Wilson runs a lot. He rarely gets hurt.
And he's lucky. But
Well,
Russell Wilson doesn't run.
Is he slides. He goes out of bounds or he slides.
He doesn't take. He takes hits in the pocket because of his terrible line.
How these pocket passes, like Andrew Luck, got killed in the back all the time. A lot of pocket passers get blindsided because they're not running. So
no.
Their offensive line was atrocious though.
But look at how many
that's the benefit of having a mobile quarterback. Sacked. Mobile or not, he's getting obliterated because that line is terrible. He is just able to take a beating.
That's the benefit of having a mobile quarterback, is that when your line sucks, you can run out the pocket. Like Russell Wilson had a
like
bad
I said,
line too.
Russell Wilson is taking a beating. Look at how many times Russell Wilson gets hit in a year. It's off the charts.
Yeah, but he's not being hurt, like out for the season.
That's a testament to his conditioning and luck.
Yeah.
That's not anything to do.
But it's not because of lack of getting hit.
He's getting his issue.
Remember the narrative. Let's shift it back. The narrative was mobile quarterbacks seem to not last as long. But I'm saying when they slide,
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying the narrative. The narrative is that because I just asked is Lamar Jackson perceived as not lasting long or having a duration because he's mobile? That's a question I just asked a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so because he subjects himself to a lot of hits.
Exactly. Just like a pocket passer who doesn't scramble, who gets blindsided, subjects themselves to a lot of hits. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
I don't see how they're getting hit.
Yeah.
How is it not?
Okay. Because you look at pocket passers getting hit. Russell Wilson is a pocket passer that gets hit. That's where he takes his punishment.
Pocket passer.
He doesn't take his punishment in the pocket. He takes, in the on the run. He takes him in the pocket. He gets destroyed in the pocket.
But everybody gets hit in the pocket if they're staying there. Like that's the point I'm making.
Whoa, not like him. Not like him.
Well, again, if you have Andrew Luck had an O-line just as atrocious as his, and he's out of the league
because he was not as physically able to take that beating, because Russ takes a beating, and people don't realize it. People look at him making these plays and don't think he's getting his brains beat out.
I think that the Luck wasn't as physical or just training his body in the offseason as much as Russell does.
He just for whatever reason he could not take that.
He's a pocket passer who took a lot of abuse. That's why he's not playing. He said, "I'm gonna retire early. I'm done with this." That's all I'm saying.
He didn't want to play anymore. But
I'm sure he got
destroyed.
He got
just as Wilson gets destroyed, but he just goes right back out there. He is a trooper. I don't know how he does it.
Because he runs.
It's unbelievable.
More. He evades more. He gets out of that pocket more to evade
he's getting hit. He's getting hit. If you go back and look, I'm not going to sit up and just dig this stuff up, but I've looked at it before. He gets hit about the same amount as Luck was getting hit.
Are you talking about his career or just within the last couple of years?
I'm talking about if you just look season to season, they're getting hit about the same amount.
Well, that's looks. That's perception.
In the pocket.
Saying Russell Wilson runs more, so he evades, he slides more.
Okay,
Andrew Luck doesn't have that. And they both have bad lines.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I think if mobile quarterbacks slide more and protect themselves, they will last longer.
Yeah.
With them running.
But it's not about that. Like I
It can
said,
fly
there's a lot of people that have played similar games to Russell Wilson that don't last. Why?
because they don't
Because
slide. They don't slide
no,
like him.
there's plenty of people that did, but they don't last because a lot of times they put their money other places. Like Randall Cunningham had a bad go of it. His line wasn't great. His defensive line was stellar. His defense was great. He had a couple of weapons on offense, never had a runner worth a darn for the most part. And Randall used to get blasted in the pocket.
It
Yeah.
was a different game back then, though. You could hit quarterbacks back then. I mean, there's pocket
Yeah,
passers at that time. They got blasted in the pocket. That's my point.
yeah,
Like
but
it goes for pocket passers too. They
yeah,
get
but the
blasted.
thing is, you don't get the chance to get out. That's the thing. You have these bad lines, they get beat up. And Randall didn't last that long because of it. Um, Michael Vick was pretty good about getting out of the way, but man, when he got hit, he just couldn't take those hits. He would get blindsided and concussions. I mean, I watched Vic get hit in the chest and grab his head.
Yeah, but you can't hit nobody like that today. That's my point. If Michael Vick was playing today's football, he probably lasts longer because his speed would be uncanny, and he wouldn't get touched as much as he would like back then when you can hit. That's what I'm saying.
If you say so.
Well, today's a different game. I mean, you
That
can't touch the quarterbacks anymore.
mm, yeah, you ain't been touching quarterbacks. Vic ain't that old.
2004, he was shining. I mean, it's 2020. That's back then to me, but
Yeah,
for football years.
yeah. Like I said,
Interesting thought, though.
I'm a fan of mobile quarterbacks. Steve Young is my guy. That's what put
he's
the
not the
icing on
same.
the cake.
Yeah, that's not the same. Just like Russell Wilson is not the same. You know, these are pocket passers. It doesn't matter that they are mobile. That's great. That's an addition.
Yeah, they're pocket passers
These
first.
are pocket passers.
They run because they
Yeah.
trying to get out of the way,
Yeah.
but they don't run first. Like
Well, every-
Lamar Jackson runs first.
Okay, in that sense, a lot of quarterbacks would be considered pocket. When we have to define what's pocket, because to me, pocket are guys that don't run. They stay in the pocket.
No,
No, those are just strictly pocket passers.
we're
That's
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
guys.
Russell's a pocket
Let's put it
passer with the
this way.
option of running.
Then
This
he's mobile.
yeah.
He can run. He can
Just
do
because
both.
you're mobile does not mean you're not a pocket passer. Once again, that has nothing to
If
do with it.
if you're in the pocket, you're in the pocket, right? Russell Wilson can stay back there, but he scrambled around back there before without crossing line of scrimmage. That's mobile to me. Just because he can
Okay.
throw and complete a pass
Joe,
on a
Joe Montana used to run a lot, but he wasn't mobile
No,
by
he didn't
far.
run a lot. Joe Montana did not run a lot. No,
Not like Steve Young, but he ran.
he didn't run. Steve Young ran. Joe Montana didn't run. He barely ran.
Really? You never see. You never see.
You're not right about that.
Yeah, Joe Montana ran a lot.
Ran a lot.
he kinda did.
Steve
Yeah,
Young
a lot.
As he got older, he didn't run as much, but when Montana was younger, yeah.
Yes.
Montana used to just take off on GP.
For majority of his career, would you consider Joe Montana a mobile quarterback?
No.
Point proven.
Oh,
But
not strictly mobile.
No, he wasn't immobile either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a
Never
pocket passer with the ability to run.
like Aaron Rodgers is a mobile quarterback.
Sure.
Very mobile.
Sure.
But, just like when you mentioned Andrew Luck was very mobile. But these are pocket passers.
I don't know, man. I guess we have our own definition of what mobile and pocket means.
Well, what's the kid from Kansas City? Is he a pocket passer or a mobile quarterback?
I'm going to say he's mobile, man.
Mobile, but he's a pocket passer.
Yeah, he's a pocket passer.
Absolutely.
Oil and water don't go together, man. I don't know, man.
Oil and water absolutely go together in this. Just because you can run doesn't make you. See, this is what the thing is. You're trying to define them like they're not, like the lines aren't blurred. You're saying that if you can move, you're a mobile quarterback. But yeah, okay, you can be a mobile quarterback that's a pocket passer. And, when you look at like a Cam Newton, he wants to be a pocket passer, but he's not very efficient.
Yeah, he's more of a runner.
The pocket means you have a pocket.
Kaepernick was more of a runner.
If you go out, if you operate in that pocket, okay.
The majority of the time. Let's stop right there. The majority of the time, where did Steve Young beat you? With his legs or with his arm? And was he on the run when he was beating you with his arm? Most of the time, no. Steve Young was a rhythm passer that would hit you with a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, and get the ball out. Steve Young wasn't running around throwing the ball like talking about it. That wasn't his thing. When he ran, he ran. So
Again,
that's not up.
okay.
That's not.
Steve
And
Young was a lot like
he's
a Russell.
mobile.
You take
He's
Steve Young's rushing yards and compare them to Joe Montana, it's not comparable.
No, he ran more.
That's the
okay.
difference. So
Why? Because
just to sit here and say something like that tells me that we have different interpretations, because just because you sit in the pocket and capable of throwing in the pocket, but you run on necessity, does not make you a mobile and pocket passer. You either mobile or pocket. You
no,
can't be
that's
both.
not true. That's 100% false.
Well, that's why
You
we
can't.
have.
There are
Can
too
how,
many
so
people
so
that are
Tom
more
Brady
mobile. More
okay,
mobile.
go
No,
ahead.
no, we're not bringing up Tom Brady. He don't
I'm gonna
count
bring
in
him up.
this.
I don't care.
He can
Tom
barely
Brady
get
is
out of the. He can barely get out of trip from over his own 2 feet.
okay.
Stop
Has
it.
Tom Brady never ran for a touchdown?
Stop it.
I'm
Stop
asking.
it.
I'm
I'm not.
asking.
I'm not answering that bullshit.
Okay.
Stop
He's
it.
bringing
He's
out
mobile, right? He ran,
kryptonite
right?
here.
That makes no
Come on,
sense. Who
man. He
cares?
ran too.
Who hasn't? Vinny Testaverde
Tom
ran for.
Brady has ran for a
Yeah.
yard before. Is he
Who
mobile?
cares? Who
Come on.
cares? No, that doesn't
Come
make
on.
sense. I'm talking
I
about
agree. It
you.
doesn't. It's the
Watch the
same way Joe
game.
Montana's not a
Watch
mobile
the guys
quarterback.
play. You're not talking about the same things. You went to an extreme, which was crap. That is not a comparison. When you're talking about Montana, Montana used to run on GP.
A
Run.
lot
It
of
was. It
people have
wasn't
ran outside
necessity.
the pocket.
It
Tom
was
Brady has ran outside the pocket. Who cares? We're
no.
talking about what is their bread and butter. When you
The
watch these
bread and
guys
butter
play,
for even the guys that you're naming, like Steve Young,
It's
like
passing.
Patrick Mahomes, is in the pocket. That
Yeah.
is where they.
no.
That's where
Steve
they
Young,
make their money.
you know why Steve Young was effective passing? Because he had the ability in his game to extend the play and run. It wasn't like he
Okay.
just
Whoa,
sat
whoa,
there
whoa, whoa.
like a
Okay.
statue.
Okay. Hold on. I want you to show me, because
I'll
see,
bring it up right now.
this is stuff that I watched. You know, you show me how many times Steve Young was running around and threw a football downfield, because it really didn't happen very often. It was rare. Steve Young was
Rare.
not like your
What?
Aaron Rodgers on the run throwing the ball, your Russell Wilson on the run throwing the ball, your Patrick Mahomes on the run throwing the ball. Steve Young did not do that. When
And
Steve Young took off, he took off.
once again, I just told you earlier in the segment that back then in Young's days, every guy you named is modern day. Back in Young's days, they didn't have offenses catered to mobile quarterbacks. So for his time frame, he ran the ball a lot more than
So,
the average typical guy would have, because it
so
was
let's
not
back
common.
up.
It
So
was not
you're
common.
saying,
He
so if
did
we're
run
going
the
to use
ball a
that
lot.
argument, then Randall Cunningham did come around before Steve Young, as I recall, right?
What about Randall Cunningham?
And Randall Cunningham was
You said he was a mobile quarterback.
yeah, he
So
was.
what are you talking about?
But here's the thing. Did he earn his bread and butter in the pocket or not?
My whole argument was mobile and pocket aren't the same. I don't care about the
Yeah,
perceptions of where they earn their
yeah,
bread
you
and butter.
can be one in the same. Very
because
much can
because
so.
quarterbacks are going to snap the ball. They're going to get the ball snapped. They're going to take it and they're going to drop back. They run out of necessity. So majority of the time they are passing from the pocket, not because they're pocket passers. It's because that's their job. They run out of necessity. So what I'm saying is, if you're able to add a run to your game, you are more than a pocket passer. A pocket passer does not efficiently run. That's the point I'm making. Every
You
quarterback plays in the
throw
pocket.
because it's your job. That's so the name of the game is
I'm just
quarterback,
saying,
right?
every
Quarterback.
quarterback doesn't run.
Every
So
quarterback doesn't throw very well either.
they can't be a mobile quarterback to me.
Yeah, like I said, every quarterback doesn't run, but every quarterback doesn't throw very well either. And when you
They
got a
don't
guy
have to
like
throw
Steve
very
Young,
well.
that at
They don't
his
have to
point,
throw very
at the
well.
point in time in his, oh yeah, you got to throw very well.
Lamar Jackson doesn't throw very well according to
Okay,
you, but he did pretty damn good running the football.
okay, but he's a runner more than he is a passer, and
But
he's gonna have to grow his game if he wants to.
again, they have an offense catered to his
We'll
skill
see.
set that
We'll see.
allows him
We'll
to
see.
do that. If
Yeah.
he was with
But
another team,
here's
he
the thing.
might not be
Bottom
running
line.
as much.
I hear all that. But here's the problem with that, Mike. The problem with that is you're using him like a running back. Running backs don't last like quarterbacks. You know that, and I know that. You're using him like a running back. He's not going to last. And you can talk about catering to him if you want to. The bottom line is he's carrying the ball like a running back. Running backs don't last. Why?
If
Same reason.
Lamar Jackson doesn't try to take hits and slides, He will last. Just like Russell Wilson is lasting
Well,
right now.
you're
Lamar
watching.
Jackson
No,
can
you're
last.
watching him. Forget about this if then else. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Well, it's he's young. He still got a career. You can't judge him off just this one
I
year. He
said
might change
if
that this
he
year. He might come back
continues.
and say, "Hey, I'm gonna
Once
slide and
again,
not
that
take
was
any
my
hits."
statement. My statement before was if you're going to have longevity, you got to change your game. I said that. That's what I said.
You slide more. You can still run the ball.
No, you
You just
can't.
slide
You
more.
can't run 18, 20 times a game and think you're not going to get your brains beat out to some degree. You are a running back when you start doing that. Quarterbacks don't run 15, 18 times a game. No. Nice try, though.
Well, again,
This is like a running back. If he throws a couple of passes or touchdowns, doesn't make him
no,
a
it's not
pocket
the same
passer.
because Lamar Jackson throws more than a running back does. It's not the same. And
He
Michael
throws
Vick,
more than a running back does, but he runs. If you're a platooning running back, he runs more than some platooning running backs. So
okay,
you're utilizing him like a running back. Forget the fact he
he
throws the
might
ball. We
get
know he
more
throws the ball.
yardage
He's a
running
quarterback.
because he's elusively fast. It doesn't mean that just
It
because
doesn't.
he runs.
You're elusively fast, but it doesn't take the wear and tear off your body when you're sitting up there trying to hit this gap, and then they knock the crap out of you. You know, okay, you get away this time, but you got 3 yards and you got your brains knocked out that time. So, I mean, I don't know if you watch these games, but, Lamar Jackson got hurt late in the year because he was running the football and got his brains knocked out.
Did he try to slide or did he try to get extra yardage?
He didn't even get the chance to think about sliding.
Where did he get hit in the backfield?
Man, he tried to cut up field and caught an ear hole.
I'm glad you said that. So if he gets sacked in the backfield, the same thing can happen with a pocket passer. They can get hurt. I can name plenty of pocket passers that have gotten hurt for weeks. Plenty.
Not as many as you can name running backs.
Well, they're not running. Mobile quarterbacks aren't running backs. We're not talking about running backs. We're talking about quarterbacks.
He's running the ball on the level of a running back. The amount
You're
of time he is carrying the ball.
To some capacity, though. You're going to say that about any mobile quarterback.
That's not true. Anybody. You show me, first of all, a quarterback who ran the ball more than Lamar Jackson did this year.
No, I'm saying in terms of mobile quarterbacks, you can say Beto said it.
Any quarterback, damn whether they're mobile or not. Any quarterback that had more rushing attempts than Lamar Jackson did this year.
Listen what Beto said. Mobile quarterbacks are just like running backs that pass the ball. That's all I'm saying. He said it. So it doesn't matter if they run more than their running back statistically. What matters is the fact that they're being perceived as like a running back that throws the ball.
Mike wants to go back and forth, and Nathaniel's done. That's what this is. No more. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what this is.
We can definitely take this into the back of the house. But we've been on here for quite a bit. But listen, truth be told, both of you guys have two legitimate arguments and two different point of views, and nobody's really right, nobody's really wrong. Yeah. Just two objective types of mentality of thinking of what a pocket passer is and what a running quarterback is. Because you're going to get objectively 50-50 on different viewers on what that is. So, but with that said, you guys I love this because when you guys bring arguments like this, it makes it exciting for viewers to watch. It's not the same dull show all the time. This is what you get from us. But we have been on here for quite a bit. We'll call it a night. But this is an interesting argument that we can carry forth in the back of the house. I would love to carry that. It's fun. Definitely no hard
with this.
But for the show, we're definitely done, man. You guys are amazing. All the viewers that participated all with us tonight, man, we appreciate you. Again, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Show your support for our show by doing so. And also share the video. If you want to hear more nicely put arguments between these two gentlemen, which I love to watch, you're not going to see them argue if you do not like or subscribe to this channel.
You ain't going to see too much of this.
So don't ruin it. We're trying to get subscribers. So for more action, stay tuned to our next show.
It's going to be organic, man. We don't do
That's right.
Yeah, it'll be organic.
For the next championship round of boxing and football, stay tuned to the Niners Stickers podcast.
Oh,
Get ready to rumble. Everyone, thank you for watching. Have a blessed night. And remember, stay safe.
Peace.
Peace.